no, we're doing a reference chapter! And just when I was starting to get mad about things. Wah wah. Why's my room so echoey? What? What a weird thing to have all of a sudden. Who knows? I'll close all the windows, whatever. The next day. Why do we have these if the... Is it because my ears are fucked up? Maybe it's that. Yeah. The next day. Why do we have these if anon is our... It's a weird way to frame your framing device with this floaty second step. But I know why it's there. It's because we need to know the timing of things because it's following the game basically. Whatever. Come on, anon. Just a few more steps. Tell myself once again as I jog up the school front steps. My legs fire like pistons mechanically going up and down as I fight against the pain to keep going. Just one more step and... I reach the top a sec. Stairs, I raise my arms in triumph like my ancestors would have successful hunt. No, you're just copying Rocky, man. You little rockier. I think they do it in Rocky. I can't believe it. I've been jogging to school every day for the past 2 weeks. Sure, my legs feel like they're on fire, and I'll be sore for the rest of the day, but it's a small price to pay for the high and fitness or held a runner's high. Huh. What all it would take for me to stick to an exercise plan was $30 from my old man. Guess the old bastard was right about needing motivation after all. I'm not just doing it for $30. There is another reason. I walk over to the gardens and drink the rest of my water bottle and glance. I glance around. Just say he looks around, man. That's way more... Like, glancing implies that you don't not really putting your heart and soul into it, which he is. I look around for Fang. I don't see him. Flopping into my favorite bench. I'm not that worried about finding the Fang. Guy always seems to find me instead anyway. Huh. I wonder if he can sniff out my scent or something. Being a pterosaur. The owl snoot must be good for something. He's a carnival, right? So I idly shitpost on my phone. I can see a figure coming towards my peripheral vision. Speaking of the devil, there he is. What took you so long, Fang? Yes, but as I look over, see, it's not Fang at all. It's Trish. How do you mistake these two? Their silhouette is so different between the wings and the height and the general proportions. What are you doing here so early? Wait, it's still him. What are you doing here so early? I ask. Completely blindsided to see her so early in the morning. Can ask to send me you, skinny. Trish huffs back with her arms crossed. Why is she here right now? Shit. She finally figured out I was at the concert? Instead of beating my ass I fear, the little trike. Does she have a penis? Took the bench across. I like how there's just a set of benches that are facing each other, which feels so weird. It's like if it's a picnic table, I can understand. But even though I have more than a foot in height and 100 pounds on her, I can't help but flinch from the death glare she's giving me now. Anon's big. Anon's a big, tough man. We can't have normal gays in this goddamn story. One gay is a girl, one gay is like excessively man. We can't just have like a normal relationship like Snoot Game technically was. For all the weirdness of non-binary Fang and all that punk stuff. Still very much a normal person in terms of body size when you really cut down to the cake. Sure, a bit skinny and all, but you could see that as being an eating disorder if you really want to cut that deep. With all the, dysmorphia going on. Or just general dissatisfaction. Too busy fighting to eat. Although considering the dinosaurs, again, a lot of people like to display them as being these fucking gluttonous, just horrifying eating habit people. I don't know. Kind of weird, right? I mean, especially with Fang. Like, it started with Fang, or with the whole Dino Nuggy thing. For a few seconds, we sit there at a stalemate, waiting for the other to make the first move. She came to you, man! I take up a defensive posture and fold my arms across my chest. I don't want to be the first one to say anything, because I have no idea what she actually wants! Eventually, she lets out a huff and breaks the silence. Fine, Anon, if you're gonna be like this, I'm just gonna ask you straight up. Trish snarls in accusatory tone. What are you doing at Fang? She jabs a finger right at me. What does everyone do? What? Anon, are you dumb? Do you need some more brain cells poured into your ear? What do you mean? I just spat her out. She rolls her eyes and smiles. But don't play dumb with me, Anon. I'm on to you. Trish says. He leans forward. Oh God, does she now? How could she? I never let anything slip. I goes in a panic, but I can feel my face turn red. I white-knuckle the bench's armrest to keep myself from hyperventilating. My God, man. I look over Trish and has a triumphant smile. She knows she has me dead to rights. That's right, Anna. I know your dumb little scheme with Nasser. What? All the fear in my body flushes out at once. Kind of like how if you piss your pants... Ah, shit, I pissed my pants. Replaced by a growing sense of relief. Oh, he is pissing his pants. Thank you, Raptor Jesus. He's clueless after all. Still, I'm not out of danger yet. What do you mean my scheme with NASA? I mean, I've been talking with him about Fang, but it's not nefarious like how she's framing it. My reasons for hanging out with Fang on my own. I'm nobody's pawn, and I like how you say that when that's explicitly how Anon's supposed to work, because he's such a fucking spineless loser. That it's really easy for someone to just push him in a direction and he just keeps walking like an idiot. Come on, Anna, isn't that obvious? The first thing you do when you get here is get all buddy-buddy with Nas, and now all of a sudden you're trying to hang out with Fang every chance you get? I know Nas to put you up to this, and I want you to stop right now. Fang spits out her accusation. I love how this author is just completely confused sometimes what the fuck he even puts in. This is the kind of stuff... This guy claims he has a proofreader who's, like, correcting his grammar, and this shit sneaks in here? Trish spits out her accusation with much vigorous. Also, Fang isn't even a her, so, like, how did this happen? And stick around after a proofreading session? Trish, it's not like... Then what is it like, Anon? It's because I stopped mid-sentence, unable to finish. I mentioned before that I don't like how Anon doesn't feel very gay because he doesn't really seem to have a gay eye. I don't necessarily mean that he talks about guys and their sexy butts. I mean that if you're a guy and you're not interested in girls, right? A lot of writing around women tends to focus on the physicality of their bodies and stuff. You know, women are described as physical objects and therefore given a how pretty are they? How sweet are they? Are they good wives? Whereas men are often described either as competition or as these people with deep, you know, that's the kind of sexism you can get in your story if you're not paying attention. Women writing does this especially hard because my God, some of that writing will just straight up treat every non-protagonist woman as like the worst creature in existence. It's fucking incredible. But I mean in the sense that like Anon doesn't like, shouldn't his eyes linger longer on a guy, even subconsciously, just he likes looking. Most men that are sexist little swines that were raised poorly will look at women and they'll look for the parts, you know? Because that's what they were told. It's like you judge a woman on that. So they would linger. Or it's for satisfaction. Or, you know, you're one of those people who can admit, she's got a good fit. She's got a goddamn good outfit going. And you want to get some inspiration. Men aren't going to dress nice. They dress like slobs. How am I supposed to get my fashion advice from them? Why am I doing this? I know it's the right thing to do, but why me? I mean, NASA could have just asked me if I could be nicer about him. Here, I'm running to school every day just so I could talk to him for a few extra minutes. You're running because your dad's giving you $30, man. Could it be that you're a faggot? I mean, Anon, you already know that. This nothing news under the sun. No. Don't fool yourself, Anon. He's out of your league. Anon, you're 6 feet tall, and you're getting buff. I'm sorry to tell you, man, but you're starting to become a catch. Which is, again, a fucking problem this story does not have any interest in resolving. Which is that Anon has ceased to be Anon. He's not interested in some closeted faggot that's going to leave him after graduation anyway. I would like to remind you that he is explicitly pansexual, which means that he does not give a shit about what's between your legs or on your chest. I'm sorry to tell you, Anon, that excuse does not work. My shoulders slump and I let out a big sigh. I think the best thing I could do is be honest. I look Trish right in the eyes. Shouldn't he mention that he feels weird about this? Because he mentioned before that he feels weird about looking a woman in the eye because he doesn't really do that, because he doesn't really talk to girls, because he doesn't really care about them. Originally, Anon didn't do it because he was a big fat loser who, like, made every woman into a potential dating partner and therefore put a massive amount of stress on every engagement. But here, it could be just as simple as, like, you know, he's just a misogynist deep down inside and he needs to fucking reconcile that part of himself because it's really easy as a gay guy to fall into that trap. Especially surrounding trans people. I would say it's very funny, but it's not funny. It's fucking terrible, actually. It gets those people to do some really dumb shit. Because because deep down, a lot of people are really nasty, and they just refuse to acknowledge it. And they just let the nasty take over. It's like, this doesn't affect you. You're already married. Why do you care? It's like, well, you know, it's never a good reason. It's always because they just have that little gremlin inside who wants to hurt people. Or wants to defend what's his, even though it's no longer his fucking problem anymore. It's that tiny little tribalist inside that tells him that something sacred is violated. No matter how much the fucking homosexual should not be pleading shit like that, they love to anyway, because everyone's got that little gremlin. Which is also why I tend to give a lot of people on the left shit for that, because so many of them will just ignore the concept because they're so, well, I'm on the right side, I'm already aware of it. But you are not, right? That guy is. I know that guy over there is. But you are, like, pretending that because you're on the right side of history, you can't make those mistakes. You can. Do you not know why so many people are, like, self-righteous people are the most likely to commit evil? God! Now's not the time, but you know what I mean. I still think that it's adorable. Again, he looks him right in the eyes. I have a bigger problem with this. Anon could never look Trish right in the eyes unless he was really motivated, and he just deflated himself with, like, oh, he's out of my league. So this Anon, right, 6 foot tall, looks Trish dead in the eyes after deflating his emotional state. I just don't see that happening with Anon. He needs to be hyped up for some reason. Because I want to help Fang. I answered truthfully. Trish's anger flickers away for a moment, replaced by surprise. She wasn't expecting that for an answer, but it's the truth. Yeah, because she answered truthfully. Unless you're lying as a narrator, which is really weird for you to do, given the context we're in. I mean, it makes sense, actually. It's actually a really fun thing to do with first person, is to have them lie or twist perspectives, like constantly interpret people's actions as negative so that we have a negative impression of someone, even though they're trying to help, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, Naomi is actually always trying to help, and it's just Anon's perspective that she looks like an asshole. That's fun. This isn't the story for that. That's not what I'm saying. Anon's not that kind of lying bastard, but it could work in certain contexts to have Anon be a bit more overdramatic, because he does come from that kind of context, right? Because he's shitpost. He's from a world where you lie and cheat and abuse people to get your jollies off. He would lie as a narrator to some extent. Or he could. Trish holds a stare for a few seconds as she thinks my answer over. Eventually she breaks and rubs the bridge of her nose, because that's a pose she has in the fucking game. She slowly lets out a deep breath, venting all animosity that's built up. She looks back up at me with another hard stare and one finger raised. I'm gonna give you one chance to prove me wrong, Anon, she sternly states. I meet her glare and nod. And like, again, where the fuck is this coming from, Anon? Where's this big dick energy coming from? When you just make your dick small? That's all I'm asking for. I glare at her, but I answer softly. You know what they say, speak softly and carry a big stick. Feeling this conversation reaches the end, I get up and start to leave. As I walk away, she calls out my name and I turn around. One more thing, Anon. Fang is happy right now. Thing says in a clipped. What is a clipped tone? Like short terse? Do you mean like a very terse tone? Very brief? Cut short? I don't know. It used to be in a very dark place, but I helped him out of that. If I think you're starting to drag them back to that place, she doesn't finish the sentence because she doesn't have to. Honestly, hard to think of Fang being in a worse mental state than he is right now. But knowing what I do about his wings, I can believe her. I solemnly nod my head. I don't need to say anything either. I walk home. I'm a little pissed that Trish confronted me like that, and I missed seeing Fang, but I think we found some common ground at least. We should lighten up a little. Yeah, maybe not. Rest of the school day. Okay, let's put on a new soundtrack. No. Nah, we had that one last time. It's fine, but not the. I like this one. I don't know. There's a lot of little soundtracks in this that I like a lot. Like, sure, Wani has its own unique charm, but man, this one feels a little jank. You know, the whole soundtrack as a collection feels jank. The individual tracks are nice, but like, as a collection of video game music, it's a bit jankier. You can tell they kind of cobble things together to make it work, which is cute. You know, charm, character. The rest of the school day eases by. Today's Friday, so the teachers are keeping it pretty light. Looking forward to the weekend as much as we were. I like how you consider yourself part of the student body, even though you're the kind of person to constantly exile yourself in your mind. It's really weird you do that. That you would show that kind of empathy. And synergy. In science class, Fang and I are back to sitting together again, but it feels different. It's what I did yesterday. I feel like I have to be extra careful what I say to them. Every little response is just a little delayed as I think of it before speaking. The worst part is I think Fang can tell I'm pulling my punches. It seems a bit more muted than usual. I really do like it if, because he's actually thinking about this stuff, that he suddenly gets all the pronouns right, but he doesn't. And I hate that. It's like, this is the perfect time to make that swap super, super jarring, because he didn't do it last time, and now he is. Part of me is afraid that I'll never be able to get to slot back in with him. Oh my god, Anon, please don't say it like that. That there will always be this underlying fear that I'll say something that will hurt him again. It's finally lunch hour. I say, trying to cheer myself up. Maybe I should ditch Naomi and Nasser and Naomi today and try to sit with Fang. I still feel that Nasser and Naomi is way more logical than Naomi and Nasser. I don't know how that makes sense. I'm sure some fancy English guys, like, I know exactly what the order of two names should be in an and relationship. I've been holding off doing it again since Trish made abundantly clear that I wasn't really welcome. But with our talk from this morning, it might be worth trying again. Well, here goes nothing. With a lunch tray in hand, I venture to the far end of the lunchroom. I haven't been there since the backpack mix-up with Reed, but it's Most of the same empty tables of social outcasts as last time. Huh. Where the fuck are they? I looked over every table twice, but I don't see them anywhere. Not even the table I sat with them last time. Could they be outside? No, probably not. It's too cold for dinner. For diners. For diners. It's a cute term, but maybe not the time to introduce a new term like that. It's too cold for dinos to be having lunch at the outside seating. You mean on outside seating? As I stand among the table, I feel like a kid lost at a supermarket. My face started to heat up, and it feels like every eye is boring holes through me. Fuck it, Anna, you have to stop the spaghetti from spilling. It's not even spaghetti day. I quickly looked around for the emptiest table. In the far left corner of the cafeteria, it looks like what looks like two femcells are sitting by themselves, completely engrossed in their conversation. Perfect match. I quickly darted over to the two's table and sat down on the opposite end. I love how this guy loves the fucking term opposite end. Why don't you sit across from someone? Krauss is averted. Well done, Anon. I still disappointed about missing lunch with Fang, but at least I'm free from Naomi's mouth. You can just sit on the floor like an adult, Anon. So I start to eat my lunch. I watch the two on the other end of the table. They're both small dinos. I don't know if it's a species thing or if these two are just unfortunate, but I have at least a foot on. You have a foot on Trish. A different species, though. The other one has bright yellow eyes and feathers, and the red-headed one doesn't. Of the two, the redhead seems to be doing most of the talking, and pretty loudly, too. Keeping mentioning some they? I have no idea who they are, though. The yellow-eyed one is much less animated than the redhead, and just nods along with the companion's rambling as she picks at some food. She's also the first to notice me, though. As she looks over to my direction, she does a double-take when she sees me. When her eyes meet, it's almost like she's seen a ghost as her tail goes rigid and her face turns red. Damn, she's actually never seen a human before. Probably thinks I'm about to chuck a spearhead or something. I'm waiting in hunting position. The redhead stops rambling when she notices her friend's distress looks over at me. Instead of shying away, she lets out a low growl. I forgot what these two sounded like. What exactly are you doing here? The redhead asks venomously as she points her tail directly at me. Oh fuck, I should have just sat next to them, but this bitch looks ready to kill. But so was Trish, so honestly, you're going 2 for 2 today, buddy. Wendy, I don't think Anna means us any harm. The yellow-eyed one comes to my defense. I can barely hear. She's talking so quietly. Wendy, I guess, glares back at her, causing her to look away. Oh, you're too naive, Judy! You could have just been sent him. It could have been sent right here by them, to all we know. For all we know, Wendy warns. She rubs Judy's shoulder and then looks back at me with narrowed red eyes. How do you know my name? I sheepishly ask as I meet her gaze. Guy lost fucking meeting gazes. Man, for a guy who's never looked women in the eye, she's sure going 2 for 2 today. I'm looking in the eyes of extremely aggressive women. I'd never seen these two until today, and somehow they knew who I was. Wendy stare cools as she gives me a shrug. You're the only human transfer in the entire school. The entire grade knows your name, Anon. I never thought of that. What answer your question? I'm sitting here because I couldn't find any of my friends. Respond, return to me surprised like when the duo goes. You have friends? Wendy asks, not even bothering to hide her shock, as Judy does. Give both slight frown. I'm not that much of a loser that even the other losers look down on me, right? Anon, you're 6 foot tall! And you're getting kind of buff. Like, I know it's just been 2 weeks, but like, come on, man. Jesus Christ, man. Fucker does not understand his situation. Yes, I have friends. I'm friends with Verm Drama, I answer a bit indignantly. Both girls share a look of excitement upon the mention of Fang's band. Judy's the first to speak up. Oh, you know Worm Drama? She meekly asks. I shake my head, a little confused. Oh, the Worm Drama. Wendy and I are their biggest fans, because we're creeps, Anon. We're gonna write fanfiction about you while you're not looking. You just confess that to someone on first blush? Yeah. Wow. What? I've never seen no idea people actually listen to them, but they seem to be genuine. I don't know how you could genuinely be a fan of the rancid screeching they do. But now that Fang's our guitar, I guess I am a fan of Worm Drama too. Huh. Do you know why they aren't here today? I ask. I mean, they should sit across from them. They might know. What do you mean with that? That they're in the same... Oh, they haven't had lunch in the cafeteria in weeks. Principal Spears lets them eat in the auditorium, Judy quietly explains. Well, shit! I was surprised they would let students in the auditorium unattended during lunch, but knowing Spears, he might have done it to throw him a bone after that disastrous concert. It's too late to go over that now. By the time I get there, lunch period will almost be over, because lunch period is as long as it needs to be by the plot and no more. I have music with Fang next anyway. It's not like I won't see him later. So, I spend the rest of my lunch shooting Wendy. When the lunch bell rings, the three of us get up to throw away our trash and leave. Then I'm walking with them down the hall because we're both heading in the same direction. So we just got out of the lunchroom. Both of them took out hand puppets and put them on. Apparently, that's just normal for them and not weird at all. And I just need to ask. I need to stop asking so many questions. Fed, according to Wendy. She was more willing to answer my questions and explained that the two of them were members of, and that is the only members of, the school's puppeteering club. I thought they were a little too old to be playing with puppets, but they just practice here and put on shows at a nearby elementary school, which is honestly kind of sweet of them. I would have a hard time imagining Wendy being nurturing and caring around kids. I'd sooner imagine she eats the young for sustenance. However, before we split up, Judy made me promise to sit with them again sometime. That might be a little weird and smell like a Goodwill, but we'll lose a stick together. Speaking of which, music class time with... Oh, that's such a nasty dig. Today's another free period, thank God. Mr. Jingo said we should just enjoy the Friday because it's Friday. I went back to reading the book at his desk. I go to the back of the classroom, picking up my beaten-up clarinet from yesterday. I get next to Fang. He's still the only one actually playing. It's a relaxing tune similar to yesterday. So I sit next to him. He looks up and acknowledges my presence, but keeps silence as he continues to play. I want to say something, but my voice doesn't work. I keep second-guessing what I should open with. Just sit there quietly instead. After yesterday, it's really hard to string sentences together, but I can't just sit here and say nothing either. Huh. I wonder... Hey, do you take requests? I muster up the courage to ask. Fang lets out a short laugh at my awkwardness. No, usually I tell people that ask to fuck off, but for you, sure. Fang teases. He stops playing and looks over at me expectantly. So Dweeb, what are you into? He asks with a slight smile and a raised eyebrow. Come on, Anna, you gotta think of something good to request. Something easy to play that won't actually make you come off as a total fool. Can you play Wonderwall? Fuck my life. Why, brain? I barely get the words out before Fang starts giggling and nearly falls out of his chair. Loud enough for the entire class to look up from their phones instead. Two idiots in the back. My face is turning red for the umpteenth. It's like the third fucking time today, Anon. Why is your betting average with... From all the attention, I start to panic. Although I do like the idea that he actually has like anxiety over crowds now. Either he always did or he does now. He thankfully ends pretty quickly once Fang notices them and stops to laugh and stare them down. Sure, I know I can play a gay little song, but... I want to ask you something first. Oh, yeah, sure, Go ahead, ask away. Fuck, what could he want to know about? Everybody starts to go into panic mode as I run through the possible questions that he could ask in my head. Where are you from? Oh, why do you want to know that? My face is red again. And the sirens go off as loud as possible. Why would he want to know? Because he wants to know if where to send the pipe bomb for your parents to. Fang doesn't joke about my flustering like I thought he would. He said he motions for me to calm down. I'm just curious, Anon. I feel like I see you every day, but I don't really know anything about you. You don't have witness protection or anything, right? Fang asks, half jokingly and half seriously. What? No. It is nothing like that. I'm from, I don't know what you'll be telling him, but it's too late now. From the Midwest. He's actually from Redding. Anon's supposed to be from, like, Redding, which is still in California, but, like, north. I don't know much about the town. I just know that apparently the Midwest is, like, an Inco thing. We got fucking comma. We got a question mark, period. I answer vaguely as I glance away, and she can just laugh. Midwest? That's a little vague, don't you think? Yeah, but I like being vague. I mumble, rubble back on my neck. I just get a blank stare, like I sprouted a second head before cracking a smile. Fine, you win this round, dweeb. But I have my eyes on you. So you're like interested in a guy, right? And you wanna find out if he's gay enough that you can start dating? Why the fuck is your opening sentence, where are you from? Instead of like, what are your hobbies? Or what's your favorite color? You know, something you can actually turn into a postcard? Like, who puts on a fucking postcard? Man, I can't believe you're from the Midwest. Wow! He says, mockingly pointing to me, and I attend to his eyes. picks up the guitar, starts to strum a few notes from Wonderwall, before melting into the rest of it. As he plays, he occasionally looks up from the guitar to gauge my attention. I give him a big thumbs up, which earns me an eye roll, but he keeps playing anyway. As he wraps up the song, he sighs and flexes his wings a little. Was that good enough for you, dweeb? He asks with mock concern. I rub my chin as if I'm deep in thought about his performance. I guess it's alright, I guess. Fang just flips me off before going back to strumming. Next time you ask, please get a better taste of music first. Sure thing. Could have my task about Nickelback, but I know when to stop when I'm ahead. Plus, he'd probably break the entire guitar over my head. Man, that was that was like 3 different chapters rolled up into one kind of awkwardly. It's not bad, but not a lot happened. Not a lot happened. I want to put my paws. Put my pepe paws. So how do I feel? I don't know. We're almost a third of the way there, and all I can think is like, man. Oh, he's called Lucas. Then why did I see Luca? Oh well. I guess that's on me for being an idiot. But this chapter's actually pretty beefy. Oh god, we're doing a really awkward POV swap. What the hell's happening? Oh man. Listen, I'm just gonna put my little beans down and say this. Apparently we are going places, but man, if it doesn't take a while to get there. I wonder if the author even knows like what the core of his story really is. Like what the nuggets and beans are really about. Oh my god, why does the last chapter have this fucking issue of like, oh no! Why do people do this? Because... Or is that what his proofreader did? What the fuck am I reading? The reason I'm not stopping is because I'm looking at something and I'm like, man. Oh, Hannon's dad. Oh my god! Listen, I'm gonna put my little beans down because I was wondering about what I saw. You can't kill the family member that's core to the thematic thesis of your story. I've said 1,000 times before. Killing characters is gauche. It's bad. It undercuts the point. Getting rid of Iadicon, and even that I'm kind of mixed on. You can't just fucking kill a character to conveniently give yourself an out. Sometimes the answer is shit sucks, and you have to live with it. Huh. Although I love the implication that Anon confessing that he's gay killed his dad. I told my dad I had a boyfriend for prom and he just fucking died where he stood. Incredible. Just fucking art. Damn.